Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, Ben. How are you?
Very good. Hi there. How are you? Good to see
Very
you.
good. Thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me. I know you're very busy. It's an honor and pleasure to have you on. Benoit De Clerck, CEO ZENITH Watches. Are you in Locle?
I am in beautiful Locle in the middle of the mountains, and it's beautiful, and it's not rainy today, for a change.
Amazing. So, welcome, dear viewers and listeners of the podcast. This is episode 54 of the Ace List. I had the honor to have the predecessor, Benoit, or Ben, as friends may call him. So, I'm not there yet, but he said I could call him Ben. Has been on the show twice. I dare to call Julien a friend, amazing guy, amazing CEO, has done fantastic stuff. I've heard of Benoit at IWC, at TAG Heuer, at Panerai, in through the grapevine. I heard you're a great guy too, and I already love you because you're Belgium. Dus u spreekt gewoon Vlaams of Nederlands.
Yeah, absolutely. Anyway, thank you for the great introduction, Alan. This is great. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for having me, and I'm looking forward for a fantastic and fruitful conversation with you and your team behind and the guests as well who are popping in as well. So fantastic. Looking forward to it.
Thank you so much. So it's a tradition to kick off this show with a wrist check.
Oh,
So I'm very curious what you're wearing, Ben.
so I'm wearing the Skyline, the Defy Skyline Chrono, blue, the one that we launched at the Watch and Wonders. It's a novelty that we launched at Watch and Wonders. I've had it since Watch and Wonder actually, wearing it every day, and I love it. And I love it because it's a beautiful watch, a great dial, great watch. Very easy to wear, and you can dress up and dress down. You can remove the strap very easily. And last weekend I was on the lake with the kids and the family. I had put a rubber strap just for fun, a blue one, and next week I'm probably going to put a red one. And it dress up the watch or dress down the watch. It's pretty cool and very versatile, as a matter of fact.
I concur with you because we have all three colors in stock. I love it. It is a lot, but not too much. So the Italians at your sister brand Bulgari say always molto non troppo, which it says here. Fabrizio Buonamassa wrote that here for me. And that's what I love about Zenith because Zenith for me can never be tacky. So I think you guys are really, really found your stride. I am rocking my Chronomaster Sport today,
That's good.
which I alter between the Revival Shadow and my Sport. I ordered the titanium one, totally in love with the extreme divers. And I especially put on my cufflinks, Zenith.
Wow.
We are retailing Zenith already from the 80s. These ones I got the early 2000s from Thierry Nataf. So I don't know if you know him actually in person.
I had met Thierry a couple of times, long, long, long time ago, and I think I had met him when he was at the helm of Zenith,
Yeah.
but very, very briefly, a couple of times, but very briefly.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah.
So we've had many waves and awesome waves with Zenith, and it's amazing on the journey that you are. But after our 7 standard the ace list questions, I want to dive into your personal journey into the watchmaking industry and what you've been doing at Zenith the last 7 months. Because if I counted correctly, you're there 7 months,
6 months. I'm
six
I'm
months.
starting today the 7 months. I came in.
Congratulations.
I stepped foot in the manufacture on the 3rd of January.
Congratulations. Amazing. So we have live viewers, we have live questions. Some viewers couldn't join, some hardcore Zenith collectors, so they sent us questions up front. I want to reserve the last 15 minutes for those questions. One of the viewers, we have Melvin on the show watching. These guys are the Watch 4 crew, hardcore watch collectors in the Netherlands. They have seen all 54 episodes. So, welcome, Melvin. Good to have you. Ben, first question we ask all our guests: what watch or jewel is your favorite and why?
Oof, it's difficult to have one favorite. That's very difficult to say. But what watch? I mean, you know what I like is actually I have two that I really like is the revival and the pilots.
Mhm.
And I'll give you a small anecdote, a true anecdote, a small story that happened in January 3rd when I arrived at the Locle. Nicely enough, the whole team had put all the watches. You know, I saw them putting all the watches of the collection on the table for me to pick one. I said, guys, you should stop. I know what I want. I want the pilot in black ceramic with the big date chronograph. And they all looked at me and said, "Oh my God, he knows what he wants." I said, "Yeah, and I know what I want, and I'd like to have, and like to have this one." And they all asked me why, and I said because for me, I like the chronograph per se. I like the dial. I think the dial is very interesting. You know, the way it's curvy and wavy like that. And thirdly, what I liked is the big dates. You know, I like the big date on that dial. And then I happened to read the story of the pilots from Zenith Manufacture a couple of weeks back, and I found it very interesting. You know, the fact that the owner of that company registered the name of pilot before producing pilot watches, and he is the only one to have the opportunity to put and to print or to have the word pilot on the dial. That I like, especially from a previous life and previous brands where I thought the epitome of pilot was another brand. Now you know you think differently.
So I actually had this as a question for you, but since you gave me a segue now, I was a guest on a Dutch podcast. So we were talking about Zenith. I told him the anecdote. Well, it's not an anecdote, it's an amazing marketing case that should be taught in every university. That Zenith, that Jacob, the founder of Zenith, back in the day, registered the trademark pilot in English, but I believe also pilote in French. He did both.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And funnily enough, with all the ups and downs of the brands in it and the manufacture and being sold and going from country to country, the trademark has always been perpetuated. So a lot of people think that I'm making this up or it's a marketing gimmick, but nobody else better than you can confirm that it's really a trademark, and therefore nobody else in the watch industry is allowed to use the word pilot or pilot on watch dials, correct?
That's correct. That's
Because you're
correct.
bringing it very elegantly and very relaxed. But if you think about it, it's a big thing.
It is a big thing, and this is one of the reasons why I got seduced as well by the story behind it, and
Mm.
that's why I chose the pilot. To go back to the first question, but that's absolutely true. Absolutely true.
Yeah, amazing,
Yeah.
amazing. Okay, I have another question, but I'll remember it. Thank you for that. Second question: what did you want to be when you grew up, and where did you grow up? You were born in Wallonia.
Yeah. I was born in Belgium, in the Flemish side
Okay.
of Belgium, and this is where I learned obviously Flemish, and this is where I grew up. And then I was lucky enough to travel a lot when when I was about 13, 14. I started moving a lot in a lot of places and living in different countries in the world, in the Middle East in particular, but not only in North Africa as well, and other places as well. And home has been multiple places. And what did I wanted to grow up with? I mean, to be when I grow up. I mean, depends at the different stage of my life. You know, when I was 10, 11, I wanted to be the superhero. You know. Which I happen not to be. Then when I started to grow older, I wanted to be the super romantic guy, which I did not happen to be either. But finally, I happened to be a father, you know, and this is great, and this is a blessing in the sky as well. And today, I'm very happy being a father, number one, and secondly, and I'm blessed with three kids. But being a CEO is great as well. Still a headache, but different headaches. I love it. I love them both, you know.
So, how old are your kids, if I may ask?
One turning 21 this month. Don't ask me when, but I know it's this month. My daughter turned 20 last month, and the other one is 17. Although she thinks she's 27, but she's 17.
So you're a very young papa, and I want to compliment your wife. Are you guys still together?
Yeah. She's keeping up with me, you know, for
So,
now.
so, so you know what? Give us, please, some both entrepreneurial and marriage tips, because I know how demanding your previous and current roles are. you've not only traveled the world, so you moved, I guess, the wife and kids along, and you literally lack hours in a day. So what's the key to success?
Wow, that's a very tricky question, but very interesting. First of all, you have to be blessed, number one. So, secondly, trust your gut. But most importantly, choose well. I always believe that after love, there's life, and I'm a true believer of that. I'm blessed with that, but I think it's important. Now, when it comes to job as well, you need to trust your guts, and you need to like what you do. Today, I love my job, and I'm working 20 hours or 18 hours a day, a weekend included, and all that. But you know what? I'm not paid by the hour, otherwise I'd probably be a billionaire. But I love it, and I love what I do, and I love being a father, great father. I don't know, but at least I love being around my kids. That for me, it means a lot. Being around my family means a lot to me.
Amazing. And you gave me a very politically correct answer and a very good one. But let's talk nitty gritty. If kids call, do you walk out of meetings and pick it up because you're gone so much? Is it,
Absolutely.
I mean, every day, especially in Holland, it's all about work life balance. People don't want to work more than 4 days, and things are pivoting. Your predecessor made big moves with the balance and a lot of ladies. I love the love hers project. There was the hers project within Zenith. So how do you cope with these changing situations?
Yeah, but what the initiative that Zenith has initiated with Julien during Julien's time was correct. Don't forget that we're all hit by COVID, number one, and COVID amplified that work-life balance. That's important. That's important. And mind you, in Holland in particular, you got it right. You got it right. It doesn't mean that to work more is you can work less with better results as well. So
Mhm.
I think it's important, yet it's a lot of education as well in order to get to that level. Having said that, this is where you need to get.
Yeah, I believe it was called Dream Hers.
Yeah, exactly,
Yeah,
Demers,
yeah,
exactly,
sorry,
absolutely, yeah,
I am also a
exactly.
happy and proud dad, but I have young kids still, and one was ill all night, so I'm lack of sleep. So my brain is working less fast. Thank you so much for sharing these personal stories. I really appreciate it. Third question, rolling into being a role model to your family, who was your role model or role models?
Oh, it's very tricky. I like those questions. It's not tricky, but it's very it has a lot of sense. I'm convinced that your role model evolves as well as you evolve naturally. And again, sorry to go back to the family aspect, but when my daughters were young, when they were in the teens and low teens, I was the hero, and I was the role model because I was the dad and the hero. Now I moved from hero to zero. But it's okay. I'm still, I hope, a role model somehow. So role model evolves. If I could be a role model today, uh, I have no name, but I know what I'd love to do is to be able to contribute to the words, in a peaceful, meaningful way that makes sense. Today, I think there is too much wastage of energy of people and it doesn't go with politics per se, but it's to be able to contribute somehow, doing well by doing good, or doing good by doing well. You know what I mean? It's
Mhm.
that's for me. If I had to stop today, you stop the thing, and I probably do something to 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 do to do good in a way.
Understand. Impact entrepreneurship. Just to twist your arm so I push a name out of you, give me somebody you admire in the watch industry.
Um, you know, I have a few. It's very difficult to pick one. I have a few. I learned a lot from Georges Kern.
Mhm.
I worked with him for a very long time, and I have no shame to say that I learned a lot from him.
Yeah,
I learned a lot from him. Then, I learned from Jean-Marc as well at Panerai,
yeah.
because we had a very, very good productive working relationship as well. So
Where
these
you
are
were
the
CCO, I
when I
believe.
was CCO,
Yeah, so you
exactly.
were his right hand, basically.
Exactly, and it worked very well. And when I was working with Georges, during IWC time and Richemont time, that was very interesting as well. And
Yeah,
of course, the beauty is to learn from the others. Today
yeah,
I'm surrounded by very smart people as well in my new job, and these people bring me a lot of wisdom, a lot of questions as well, and a lot of discussion. I enjoy my time today at LVMH is great because it's very entrepreneurship, more entrepreneurship as well. And I can tell you, I have a very enriching and productive discussion with the top management of LVMH as well. They're great people and challenging, and mind you.
yeah, yeah. I've great respect also for Frederick Jean. I had the honor to
Correct.
meet him both, so it's very, very, very inspiring, and you see that the passion runs deep, but also the knowledge. So it's an interesting balance between ratio and emotion. Talking about being role models, do you mentor young stars within the company or where you worked?
Today, I do not mentor within the company because I've been 6 months in the job.
Mhm.
Mind you, a small parenthesis, yeah, I agree with Frederic. We have a lot of discussion and very interesting discussions.
Yeah,
It's very enriching.
yeah,
As part of the mentorship per se, today I don't mentor anyone
mhm,
within Zenith. The philosophy today, the door of my office is always open.
yeah,
That's true, and some of them take advantage of it in a very nice way and very positive way. And I'm very open to discussions. I like to discuss. I like to discover new things, and I like challenging questions, or challenging discussion because it puts me back in perspective as well. So this is very interesting. But we don't have that. The fact that the door of my office is open means a lot. It
mhm.
means that who we are, what we do, and how we function at Zenith. And I can tell you, no doors is closed now at Zenith. Everybody has, whether they're manager, directors, whatever, everybody can pop in. Hey, buddy, I have a question here, a question there, and so on and so forth. So I do not mentor per se. I do mentor a couple of young kids, friends of families and stuff like
Mhm.
that,
Mhm.
because I want them to do well.
Yeah,
I want them to do well, and they listen.
yeah.
And I'm happy to mentor people who are hungry and a good entrepreneurship mindset.
I see it now. You give me a lot of leeway to ask cheeky questions because with the Swiss, I don't always get away with it, Ben. So, going to the next question, if we daydream a little bit, if you could teleport tomorrow, where would you go?
Whew. Um, Today, honestly, probably on a sailboat.
Mm,
I enjoy sailing. I enjoy the sun. I like fishing, but I like sailing. I like because it's very technical per se, and everything that you change a millimeter of rope here, a millimeter of there, and sailing is something that I've been sailing since I'm a kid, and I've been a boater for as far as I know. And what I miss today is sailing, and this is where I feel good and where I feel in charge because any mistakes and any fine tuning is yours.
I um, I totally agree. I'm sorry. Sometimes I looked at a second screen because Instagram is new to StreamYard where we're using, so it's a separate screen. One of your biggest fans is logged on. It's George Bamford, so he's sending blue hearts to both of us. Hi, George. Thank you for tuning in. I know we have a phone call planned later today, but I'm trying to steal his pièce unique. He has a Chronomaster Sport. Have you seen it already, Ben?
Yeah,
George's
yeah, yeah. He showed me.
Chronomaster.
He showed me.
So whenever I'm at the Hive in London, I try to nick it from him, as the English say. Um, Regarding the sailing, can I make a little guess? Will we see a yachting Zenith anytime soon?
Wishful thinking. I would love to. I would love to. We launched the divers watch this time at Watch and Wonders. It's doing very well. We don't produce too many of these intentionally, and I can tell you whatever we have is already sold, and we produce like a few pieces every month, and the success is very. It's there to stay, but no sailor's watch other than the divers that we launch at Watch and Wonders for now.
Yes, yet. So
Yeah.
if you, ladies and gentlemen, want one, hit them up on Instagram or wherever. Um, so thank you for that, and thank you for the sailing. And I vouch for the extreme diver and the revival, also doing extremely well at Ace Jewelers in Amsterdam. Every piece we've got until now, and this is a shout out to Sebastien Simoni. He's my guy for Zenith. He really hooks us up. He's always there for with his Parisian team. So shout out to them. Fifth question: what book are you currently reading, or what book recently made an impression on you, Ben?
Okay. Well, I have to be honest with you. I mean, since January 3rd, I have no life or very little life, if I may say, and I love it, and I love it, and I've read a lot, but I'm in between two books. I'm in between two books. One book that I haven't finished yet, but I will eventually in a couple of weeks, which is the 4,000 Weeks,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a very interesting book that was offered from a dear friend of mine in the UK actually, and he read it, he liked it, he offered it to me, and it's all about work-life balance. And in fact, we have only 4,000 weeks to live, and at the end of the day, it's not that much. And one book that I'm reading again is The Outlier. I don't know if you read The Outlier from
No.
Malcolm Gladwell. It's a book
No.
that it's a very interesting book because it's all about outlier, and outlier is being different. You know, it's being different. So that's pretty interesting as well. So these are the two books I'm reading in parallel whenever I have 10 or 15 minutes for myself. These are the two books, but I definitely plan to finish the 4,000 Weeks this summer, and that's exactly the outlier. Exactly.
And where do you read when you're on holiday, on a plane? Because you sit on a lot of planes. Do you work? Do you relax?
So I first of all I work when I'm on a plane. I do all the backlog and all that, and my team laughs at me because they know they're gonna get gazillion emails when the plane lands. So this is very funny because oh, you were on a plane. Oh, and depending on the number of emails they receive, they know how long was the flight.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
but that's very serious. So I at first I walk. At first I work. Secondly, I try to read. I try to read, and then I consider this, time for for watching a movie or something different as well. Having said that, I measure the level of the success of my holidays based on how much I can read. Okay, and if I read well, if I'm happy, satisfied with my reading week or 2 weeks or whatever, then I'm satisfied with myself and happy to say, you know what, I had good holidays.
I totally know what you mean and what you say. This is the skyline that Ben is currently wearing. So this is the
Correct.
model. I utterly love it. Going to the next question. You guys probably work more than 18 months ahead. So let me ask you, what do you think the color for 25 is going to be? So what's the it color? What trends do you anticipate for 25?
What do you think should it be?
What I think it will be is I think we're in a down cycle, and in down cycles we go to more classical stuff again. But what I think it should be, I am known on the Real Time Show podcast for me shouting tutti frutti all time long. So I love rainbows, I love colors. I was so happy to see the Defy divers in orange, obviously the not that Dutch national color. So I'm happy you, as a Belgian fellow neighbor, you didn't go for black, red, and yellow, but you honored the northern neighbors. So it's funny. By the way, I was thinking of you last Sunday. I was training my son for a football tournament for next Sunday. We were playing on a soccer pitch. Suddenly, we see a whole team in red, Belgium. I'm like, huh? But it was the national hockey team. So I said, "Are
Oh,
you guys also the Rode Duivels?" They said, "No." They were angry at me. No, no, no. That's only the football players. So, so I love the fact that we went all over with colors. And what I love at Zenith is the Felipe Pantone
yeah,
colors, the
yeah, yeah,
gradient, and what you guys did on your building. So that's what I love. But can
absolutely.
you Can you lift the veil a little bit and tell us what? Give us a scoop, a little something.
A little something. First of all, Pantone is, I agree with you, it's very interesting because each watch has its own color, you know. And what I can tell you is that we're launching a tourbillon Felipe Pantone. It's hitting the market at the end of the month or next month. And this will be produced in a very limited quantity. And the tourbillon itself has, you know, the multicolors or the colors of the Pantone on the tourbillon, which is pretty cool. We showed it to a couple of collectors, and I can tell you it's already already gone. And the first 2 months we will produce that quantity, and then it will be produced in a very small quantity, less than 100. That's for sure. That's for the Pantone one. One color that you know that we like a lot at Zenith is the blue.
Mhm.
You know, the blue is the color of Zenith. The blue is what we talk about. Zenith is what we transpire as well, and this is where we stand for. And I aim to continue that legacy in the blue, in the blue tone or the blue tonality, because it's true to the brand. You know, everything is in blue. Like other brands have other colors, you know, lighter colors and so on and so forth. But the blue is something that's very. I'm not saying it's unique, but it's very true to Zenith.
So I wanted to make a joke. This was launched this week, the Skyline, the Phi Skyline. And I want to say, oh, and now I know you like Sebastian, my dear friend, because you honored him with one of the most beautiful dials for a city edition. So congratulations both to you and Sebastian, because this one is stunning. And I always say to collectors, you know, when a brand respects collectors is when they do the date disc in the same color, because
Yeah,
economically it's not a wise move.
I know.
So kudos to you.
No, no, kudos to the team as well. I can tell you, Sebastian and the team as well fought for that, and we trusted them and we entrusted them, and therefore we empowered them naturally. And they were right, you know, they were right. It's been a very beautiful success last week in Paris, and I know he sold more than 50% of the quantities allocated, if not more. So I know it was a success, and I have to acknowledge kudos to him and his team and the team at HU, because they came up with the great a great project. They believed in it, they did it, and kudos to them. They deserve the credits, that's for sure.
So while we're talking of city editions, this is Rocky, also part of the Watch 4 crew, has not missed a single edition of the Ace List live episodes. He writes, "Good afternoon, gentlemen. Love to see Defy Skyline edition Amsterdam. My advice, Rocky, next time Sebastian is here, stalk him and we'll make it happen." um, Last question. You're such a fantastic guest, Ben. Thank you so much. Usually we try to do these 7 questions in 15, but we're taking half an hour, so I need to speed it up. Last question. I guess you've been in Amsterdam. I have not welcomed you yet. Have you been? And what's your favorite memory?
You know, I've been to Amsterdam numerous times. Last time I was in Amsterdam was probably 18 or 20, yeah, a bit less than 2 years ago. I would say 2 years ago.
Mhm.
And you know, I mean, Amsterdam itself is beautiful. You know, unfortunately, it's underrated in a way. You know, because it has so much to offer, but it's underground. It's not, you know, you have to know, and this is the beauty of Amsterdam. And the best way to discover Amsterdam is through local people, and they take you through places that are not open to to uh, to the public per se. And this is what I like about Amsterdam. Amsterdam. What I like about Amsterdam is the fact that they're very, you know, they're cautious about the environments. You know, because they're fragile in a way. You know, the environment is fragile, and they know the value of our motherland. You know, and this is very visible in the conversation, in the way people behave, and people try to protect their motherland in a very positive way. And I think this is great. You know, this is very important for them. To Mother Nature is very important for them, and I value that, because Mother Nature, there's only one. Huh?
Exactly. So these were the 7 questions. Thank you so much. You gave me now a segue because we have like a little 15 minutes to jam. I actually want to know your whole journey. But you gave and you've talked about it quite some time, sustainability. Would you mind sharing a bit what both Zenith did, are doing, and what you plan on changing on that topic, if I may ask?
It's a very broad topic, but I can tell you what pops up to my mind as it is today. We're, for example, working very hard with the at the production at the manufacturer level to eliminate everything that's called plastic.
Mhm.
Okay, we're working very hard on this. We've made a lot of progress, and it's a never-ending progress, But we aim to be plastic free in a very short future. But that's the aim. I don't want to give you a specific date because we have it internally, but I don't want to brag about this because we do
Mhm.
this for ourselves. We're not here to get credit and all that. We do it for ourselves because it's our part. This is how we contribute to our mother nature as well. This is our part. Number two, we have the icon programs. The icon program is whereby we source old models, we refurbish them, and we sell them back. And this is all about circularity. It's all about circularity, whereby the product was produced at a certain in a certain way at a certain ecological platform or expense, and then it's recirculated and sold as, of course, as an icon, like we call it an icon, but it's all about circularity. And this is a second example. The third example, the company cars, for example, we have three company cars that are all electrical. Now we can open the debate or non-debate, but it's a fact that those cars are definitely carbon-free emission.
Mhm.
So that's great. Secondly, the same applies to the executive committee. All our cars are either electrical or hybrids,
Yeah.
and so on and so on. And we have a list, an ongoing list. And the beauty is that the whole company is submerged, is included in the decision and the execution as well. You know, when it comes to recycling paper, recycling aluminium, and so on and so forth. On the manufacturing level, we have a big manufacturer. We recycle a lot, and we do a lot. We do a lot on that, and that's very important as well. So what else can we think about is for example the solar panels we have. We have the whole roof is filled with solar panel with EVs, and this is contributing to electricity production. And when we know we have a very heavy loaded electricity machine, we do it during the day. That's very important. And this is about we save about 20 to 30% of our usage, of our consumption of electricity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing. Very well done. So, as I said before, I looked to the second screen because I have Instagram running. It's not integrated to my backstage studio. We have Vae Vartsbed, my dear friend, watching. He's sending his regards. Became CEO of HYT recently, so he sends you his regards as well. Good to have you here, Vae. Congrats on the new role. Well deserved. Benoit, the road to being CEO of Zenith. You started a stint in tobacco, if I'm correct, and then you actually started at an LVMH daughter. Please walk us through your career and why you got attracted to watches.
So first of all, hi to Vahe. I've known Vahe for many years, and I'm very happy for him and his new appointment. I'm sure he's gonna rock it and do very well. Indeed, it's true. I started my career in the tobacco company. A great experience, great challenges as well. Very special business as such. Very unusual business as well. But great experience. Absolutely no regrets. And the day I wanted to stop the tobacco, and I decided to stop because I want to do something else. I didn't want to be an expert in tobacco and all that. I was not a smoker. I was not a smoker, and I enjoyed my job, but I wanted to have something else. And at that time, I had met a couple of people in the watch industry, and I applied at Richemont at that time, and that's how I ended up starting the operation of Richemont in the Middle East out of nothing, out of nowhere. So we took the 36th floor at Emirates Towers. We started hiring people, brand managers, and all that, opening boutiques that were very successful. Some Cartier boutique and all that. That was very successful. And then from now on, 7 years later, boom, I was asked to go to the US to manage IWC. And at that time, a few years later, they bought Roger Dubuis, and they asked me to take over Roger Dubuis as well as my responsibilities at IWC, which I did. And then a few years later, they asked me to go to Hong Kong, whereby I was in charge of Asia for IWC, Roger Dubuis, and Baume Mercier. So it was very interesting because we had one big tower, but on the 13th floor, I had IWC. I had to go down another elevator, go to level number number 22 for Roger Dubuis, and another elevator, although in the same tower, another elevator for Baume Mercier. Very interesting. I did a lot. Of course, we moved, and at that time, Asia was booming, and that helped as well. And we did a lot. IWC. I opened 54 IWC boutiques in 3 years in China alone. You know what I mean? So we had really a good momentum. And at that time, George was the CEO, and he entrusted me, and we did pretty well. And this is where I came back at the request of the group to be the number two of Panerai in Switzerland. I came to Switzerland, and I've been since. I was there for like 7 years as the international sales director and CCO of Panerai, working with Angelo Bonatti, and then working with Jean-Marc Controuet. Of course, I got along with Jean-Marc. We did a lot of good things, for the brand in terms of distribution, events, and all that. A true marketer as well. And then I decided to do something else. I wanted to do something else, and I was in contact at that time with the LVMH. And one day we reconnected, and I took their offer.
Amazing. So welcome.
Yeah, it's been
We're
a good.
happy you're here. We're happy you're here. So thank you for that. What while sitting and listening to you, what comes to mind, and I guess if I was you, I would be super excited because this is technically the first brand in your beautiful track record that's a pure manufacture and technically always has been. Is that something that helps you as a leader of the Rat Pack in Le Locle? Is that something you took into consideration and say, hey, this is an amazing critical success factor? And walk us through the fact that Zenith is a pure manufacturer.
I thought I knew Zenith, from the outside because it's a beautiful brand. But when I came in a week later, I said, "Oh my God, this is unbelievable! How rich is the brand?" Obviously, I didn't know about all those details about the brand. How rich is the brand? How the archives? We have tons of archives and miles of archives. We have a museum. We have everything is authentic, and this is the fact of we're celebrating 160 years next year. Not a lot of brands can celebrate 160 years. I'm not saying we're the only one, but very few can. But even fewer brands can celebrate 160 years in the same manufacturer, whereby and uninterrupted. And this is very important as well. We did not stop despite wars and natural disasters and so on and so forth. Zenith remained there, and that's very, very interesting. And this is the supremacy in watchmaking as a watchmaker. Everything was there, everything was made here, and all that. This is very rich in terms of history, and that's what makes the brand very, very interesting. Now, to answer your question, what made me, or is it difficult? Not difficult. You know, being at the helm of Zenith today is first of all very interesting and very encouraging and very rewarding as well. Most of the time, I'm not saying every day, but it's definitely a very rewarding job because people know more than you, at least more than me, and so I keep on learning. And I need to be. I'm thirsty. I'm thirsty of new anecdotes and new stories, and so that's very interesting. And I find my job very interesting. Secondly, because it's a manufacturer and we produce everything in house, it's challenging as well, because you are at the mercy of of many factors, but makes you more authentic and more, or truer, or more true. And this is important as well, because this is all about the pedigree and the DNA of the brand. And so it's been a beautiful journey so far. Not a walk in the park, I have to admit. I have my ups and downs, but overall, it's been great, and I'm blessed with a great team as well, and a supportive team, and a great COMEX, an executive committee that's with whom I work very closely with, and Frederic is my boss, and he's been supporting our ideas and supporting the brand as well, and the communication is great. So we have, so far so good. I have to admit, so far so good.
You came in actually around LVMH Watch Week January 24. So obviously you hit the ground running. Obviously you couldn't have developed products for Watches and Wonders, which was April this year, 3 months later, because the pipelines take a very long time to develop. Um, when will we see new Zenith products that have your DNA in them?
I'm very lucky because I took over Julien, and I've known Julien. He's done a fantastic job on the brand, and he deserves a lot of credit. And it is true, what you saw at Watch and Wonders was definitely the outcome of Julien and his team, and I'm very proud and very happy, because I would have not done it better, that's for sure, or not differently. That's for sure. Although, mind you, I did change a couple of things during Watch and
Mhm,
Wonders in terms of design and approach and communication and quantities and so on and so forth, but very minute, very very
mhm.
minute. Therefore, kudos to Julien and his team. Fantastic job. When are we going to see the little touch, or the little Ben's touch? Soon, very soon, because despite the fact that things have to be prepared way in advance, you can
Mhm,
still change a couple of things
mhm,
that you think are correct. You see what I mean? The good thing is that I'm not changing a complete swing of change.
mhm.
It's just fine tuning, or things that I believe in.
Yeah,
And sometimes I'm a bit stubborn, and I like to change things when I think it's the right way to do it. And so you will see already next Watch and Wonders a couple of things more than this year for sure, with my little touch as well. But I don't work alone. I have a team, and we work with the team, and we have a lot of discussions, and we are 100% aligned. I consult a lot of watchmakers, of course, but a lot of collectors, a lot of people, a lot of journalists as well, who know a lot about the brand. And I have a good time discussing with these people, because I learn from them.
yeah.
Whether it is watchmaker, whether it is a journalist, you have a lot of qualified journalists that know a lot about the brand, and they want you to succeed. And you can feel, and they'll tell you, we did that, and. Of course, at the end of the day, the final decision is mine with the team, but it's good to get information from the others.
Lovely. It's actually very lovely to hear that you're very agile, because from the outside, working with the groups, and you've worked now with two groups, some are very rigid and are run from the ivory tower. What I've seen so far, LVMH lets the maisons, gives them a lot of autonomy. I mean, within Richemont, I was impressed already how much is done. But would you concur that at LVMH, you really, really are agile and have a lot of freedom in strategy, let's say?
I mean, freedom is a big word. I can tell you that at the beginning at Richemont, we were entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And with time, unfortunately, the entrepreneurship diluted itself a little bit and became a bit more. Why? But it's natural, because the company became bigger as well, so that was obvious. I have to admit that at LVMH, we are more entrepreneurs. I am more an entrepreneur today than I was a couple of years back. That's for sure. That is for sure. It goes without saying. And I concur with you and affirm that we have a lot of a lot of freedom, in at least to express yourself. Of course, we have a committee that we go through the committee, but we have regular conversation. I speak to Frederic every day, and the management. I was last week in Paris meeting all the management, and this is communication is very important. And so far, it's been easy. Easy in the way that people are available for you to listen,
Hmm.
and at the end of the day, you're in charge, you know, and this is very important. At LVMH, you're in charge, make it work, and so far, it's been okay.
Amazing. I have a zillion more questions for you, but our dear viewers as well. So, with your permission, should we dive in for the last 15 minutes? Because I know you need to go in 15 and I don't want to keep you. So, um, Rocky had another one. Can we expect a new pilot type 20?
Good question. You know, the beauty of the pilot, and you know, the pilot line is very close to my heart, and I think it's a beautiful line. We I can say that we did not give it justice yet. Okay, I think we need to work a bit more on the watch itself. We need to communicate more as well, and we can improve a little bit and come up with something a bit richer on that line, and focus on what we have today. You know, the shift from what the pilot was to the what the pilot is today. I I like the old one, but I like the new one much more because it has much more to offer.
So, for those that are maybe not that familiar with the Type 10 Zeniths, they are very much heritage inspired, whereas the new ones are very, very contemporary but timeless. And I actually love the new ones. So I think that the team did an amazing job on the current ones. So interesting, Rocky, that you asked that. Thank you so much for that. Then we have Miles, who couldn't join due to meetings, but he's an avid Zenith fan. Um, so he's sending quite some questions. And his first one is, as the new dive watches are very popular, will we see more dive watches from Zenith? If so, will they be released this year or next year?
So I have to admit, you know, the divers watch that we launched at Watch and Wonders has outperformed our expectations. That's for sure. And we're very happy with that. And again, strategically, I had decided to produce limited quantities. They're not limited, you know, numbered, but in terms of production, I didn't want to have them available everywhere in the whole network and all that for various reasons. So far, it's been doing well in that sense in terms of distribution and sales. It is becoming more and more popular because at the end of the day, it's a very beautiful watch and complicated to build and to assemble. Huh? It's not an easy watch to assemble. Will we see more released this year or next year? Yes, probably, but not next. Probably not next year. You know, probably a bit later, because we still have a lot of demand on what we have today. What we have today is working, and I don't want to spoil, you know, and to have too many and so on and so forth. You know, we are limited in what we can produce, and we sell what we produce somehow. So we need to make sure that we don't overproduce either, you know, and that's why I like to keep the production plan as it is, as limited, in order to make sure that we can capitalize on that. And so far, so good. I lost you. I lost you. You're on mute, I think.
Sorry, thank you for that. Because I'm in the boutique actually downstairs. So when the doorbell's ringing, I mute myself. So Miles continues and he says, "Are there more collaborations in the pipeline? If so, will they be available to purchase on the Zenith website, or will some only be available locally, i.e., Rabat in Spain, Ibiza edition, for example?" So he's asked me this before. Why don't we see more retailer oriented collabs? So I think he's referring to that.
You know, we have a lot of requests for collaborations with retailers, but not only with retailers, with a lot of you know, celebrities and stuff like that. We cannot do them all. You know, we have to choose, and we have to decide if it's in line with the strategy of the brand and what we want to do. You see what I mean? What we did, for example, for Paris, again, kudos to the team. They believed in it. They did it very well, and they did a fantastic job with this one. And the story behind it is nice. Other than the fact that the watch is nice, the story behind it is nice, and it's simple. It's a very simple. Good collaboration has to be simple to work. If you have to explain the collaboration, then it does not work. So I believe in that, and therefore that thing on Paris, for example, that you did last week was a success because it was a smart thing. You call it a collaboration or an idea or whatever, it's the same. At the end of the day, yes, we will continue to collaborate. Yes, we have a lot of friends of the brands coming into the brand as well, the celebrities and non-celebrities and A plus, triple A, B and C's and all that. And the beauty is that we have a good communication line with these people, and it's very interesting. We cannot do them all, and we will not do them all. We will pick and choose, but we're not going to do collaboration with celebrities and partners right, left, and center. It has to be well thought of, and probably less that has been made in the past. But
Thank you
to answer your question, yes, we will, but it will be well thought of and something different and something very focused.
So, Miles, stay tuned, and there's no rest for the wicked because some of the collectors get FOMO and they always need to stay attuned. So, no rest for you. Um, this is a philosophical one. He asked, "What, in your opinion, makes Zenith stand out from the other watch brands?"
I think, at least after 6 months being at the helm of the company, I think Zenith offers a lot of watch for the money, and I like to use that expression because we are notorious in a positive way about our movement. So we're offering a top-notch movement, and this is undeniable, and we own that thing. This is what we own. So we offer a lot of watch for the movement. For example, I'll give you an example: the triple calendar we launched in January. That watch, not a lot of watch brands produce it, very few, but they sell that watch, which is the entry point of the perpetual calendar, technically at a much higher price. And we decided to put it at a very affordable price because we wanted collectors or new collectors to be able to engage in the brand at a very affordable price. And that's one of the little touch that I was involved in, to make sure that we don't overprice that watch, to make sure that we can give that luxury to the team and to newcomers as well. And this is a mere example. Again, Zenith offers a lot of watch for the money, and by the movement, by the design, and everything. I can tell you, everything is worked on. There's nothing left for luck or to details that are not worked on. We worked every single detail of everything in the watch.
So, Ben, you school me as the big chief of the brand, reaching your star. Me as a retailer, I always say, because I'm multi-brand retail and independent, I can say whatever I want. Makes me semi-objective compared to mono brands. And there is comparison. I always say there are not many watch brands, and there are literally a few that you can count on both your hands that are pure manufacture. They design and manufacture their own movements. Obviously, the El Primero caliber itself became a brand that almost overshadowed the Zenith brand, almost. The 400 caliber is already epic, but you guys didn't stand still. You kept on developing with the 3600 caliber. You kept on pushing the boundaries. The Elite evolved also into El Primero, but the three-hander, let's call it the non-chrono El Primeros. And what I love the most, you have dual standing in heritage and modernity. There are not many watch brands today that make utter contemporary current designs pushing the boundaries. I'm talking about the Phi 21, the Phi Skyline, etc. That's what I'm talking about. The Pilot is, I believe, one of the most beautiful modern pilot watches available on the market right now. And as you said, I dare to say Zenith was way too low in price. You guys went up with inflations and etc., but you also pushed up the prices. And I still dare to say that they're too low. Sounds idiotic because I'm a retailer selling the brand, representing the brand like an ambassador. But I always tell my colleagues, guys and gals, make this switch in your mind. Don't compare it to the volume brands. I'm talking about Breitling, Omega, etc., who have a lot of in-house capabilities, but not all. put it above Géjar, on Géjar level, Vacheron level, etc. And that's a mind shift that I try to push for my side. Would you say my pitch is on point, or should I polish it a bit?
No, no, your pitch is 100% on point because you sell it, so you know exactly what customers are looking into a Zenith, and what you said is 100% correct, which is music to my ears in a way because again Zenith offers a fantastic movement, you know what's in the heart of the watch, you know, and a very beautiful design that is contemporary and and up to date in a way, and this is definitely one of the numerous strengths that the brand has. Absolutely.
So I'm at the fair with Sebastian, ordering real time Instagram, da 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 da, boom, boom, boom. My WhatsApp starts exploding DMs. I want this Alon waiting list, da da da. Okay, people see it. The market is cooling down. So people say, waiting list, but I want to see it. Fine. Then they say, "Ooh, Alon, 11,800 for a diver is a lot of money." I said, don't say a word. Come in, oblige anything. See it. The sheer quality radiates from the product. Besides the design elements, the hands you guys created are unique. The stars in the dial are subtle, not tacky. The frame around the hour markers, the bezel, the three straps, three, not two, three, steel, rubber, Velcro. And then the moment people come in, boom, they're in a split second. Yes, there is no. So it went past the 10K mark, which psychologically is a threshold, but cheap. The revival for 8K is a bargain. So that's what I say.
Yeah.
It's still the older caliber, but pay attention, dear viewers. This is not ETA. It's not an ETA clone. It's the old elite calibers, but the elite are top notch. Yeah? So, so that's what I say. But okay, I'll shut up because we're not here for me. We have a few more minutes. A question from one viewer, but you actually answered it, was how did you perceive the brand Zen before joining the company? But you touched upon that topic. Somebody else said Thierry Nataf used to call Zenith a sleeping beauty. I don't know if ever heard him say that. Would you say it's wide awake right now?
I would say it's awake. I would not say wide awake because there's a lot to be done and there's a lot of miles across. But I think the Sleeping Beauty is awake. We need to take that Sleeping Beauty out of bed, standing up, and then walk with it. You know, so there are a couple of steps to make it wide awake as well. But yes, it's awake. It's awake. It needs to stand up.
William, also hardcore collector. Good to see you, William. Thank you for sending in your question. Any further developments planned for the El Premier high beat movement? So he's referring to what I just said. Caliber 400 evolved in 3600. Are there any developments there, Ben?
You know, I can tell you that we have a team of engineers working only on calibers and improving the calibers and the movement. So that's for sure. The only thing I can tell you, you will not be disappointed because this is our core of expertise. We are manufacturing those movements and we know exactly what to do. And we're working hard on this. And if he stays with us, he won't be disappointed.
Okay, I hope you like that answer, William, because I know you won't get disappointed. Melvin says, gotta go, guys. Awesome show. Again, thank you both. I always am amazed, Ben, how many people during the day watch and participate, but that's the upside of remote work, working at home and Zooming. Maybe one more, Ben, before we go. Last one from Miles. Very relevant one. Will Zenith host any events in the Netherlands for the Dutch European customers? Looking forward to meeting other Zenith collectors enthusiasts.
Yeah, of course. When are you organizing something, Alan?
I'm going to call Sebastian immediately. So stay tuned, Miles. But this, I wanted to show you, Ben, there is a hardcore following for Zenith in the Netherlands. I want to thank you very much, dear Ben, for taking the time to sit down with me. I know you're extremely busy. And I want to thank all our viewers as well. Thank you so much. Next week at
Oh,
noon, we sit down with the owner of Sherpa Watches, Martin Klokke. So thank you. And Ben, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I really enjoyed this conversation.
likewise, thank you as well. Great questions and great team behind the screen as well. So this is amazing and always an honor. And we could stay like this for hours. This is
We can.
what we like to do. And thank you for the hospitality per se. And long live to Zenith.
Amen. Thank
Amen.
you, meneer De Clerck.
Meneer De Clerck, alstublieft.
Tot ziens.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye bye.